Everybody loves talking about how much money you can make in property, the wealth you can build, the cash flow you can make, and the profit you can make. However, it's not all smooth sailing. There is a lot of issues that come in property investing. And in this video, I'm going to detail some of the key property issues that I've seen, that I have found in my property journey, and that I've also seen in other fellow property investors as well. So if you are investing in property or you're about to embark on your property investment journey, make sure to stick to the end so you're ready and aware of all the different issues that you could face on your property journey. The first is difficult sellers. So when you actually come to put an offer on a property and the seller accepts, that's where it begins. It's not where it ends. There is still a whole buying process. And during that whole process, a seller can do anything. They can pull out, they can go for another offer if they wish. Until you exchange it and complete, which happens at the end of the property purchase, there is no formal legal binding between you and the seller. And this is part of the reason why 1 of 3 property purchases fall through. They don't make it to the end. And if you are dealing with a difficult seller, then it can be tricky. There are sellers that actually will wait up until exchange and completion and try to change the terms that were once agreed. They may ask for a higher offer because they feel like you might be scrambling now and wanting to actually really purchase the property, and other tactics like that, which I don't think are integral at all. It's worth understanding what you're going into when you put an offer on a property and you want to move forward with that property purchase. You could be dealing with a very fair and reasonable seller. However, some people that are looking to sell their property will try their luck, and they'll try it at your expense. So make sure you're ready and make sure you're always cool, calm and collective, and you've got the right team around you. The second is delays in conveyancing. So it could be searches, the mortgage offer, solicitors can all take their time. And even if you're chasing them up quite a lot, and even if they're doing quite a good job, it can still take quite a while. A property purchase you thought that could complete in 8 weeks, now it's taking 6 months to complete, and your money is tied up and so are your plans. So although you want to make sure that you're moving with as much speed as possible, you have to understand that property purchases, they can take a little bit longer than you might expect. And that's why I always tell beginners, in property, you must exercise a level of patience. So if you're looking to buy your first investment property, just understand that it may take a little longer than you think. The third is tenant issues. So you could have tenants paying late and some tenants not paying whatsoever. So that's why it's so important to have the right processes in place. So chasing up tenants when they are late for rent payment to ensure you're protecting your cash flow. Things like rent insurance can be a great tool to safeguard you against if tenants ever fall into arrears, so that way your rent is still being paid. And this comes back to why it's so important to vet your tenants properly. Make sure you have good tenants in there, and then when they're in there, make sure you're doing a good job at managing the property effectively. The fourth is maintenance headaches. So property is bricks and mortar, and ultimately things are going to break. So the boiler may break, mold issues, the gate might jam, anything can happen. So it's always worth ensuring you've got a buffer there in the event there is an emergency and something needs to be fixed. And that's why it's so important that wherever your property is, make sure you've got the right team there and the right tradespeople that you can rely on. And the fifth is the regulations and compliance. So it's making sure that you're on top of all your compliance and all your regulation, because failure to adhere can cost you thousands in fines. So make sure your gas checks are up to date every single year, electrical checks, your EICRs, which you need to be doing every 5 years on your properties. Your EPC is done every 10 years. You're protecting the tenants' deposits and sending out the how to rent guide in a timely fashion when you do get a new tenant. All these things are fundamental, they're key. And if you don't adhere to it and you don't do it and you end up in court with a tenant, you may be on the receiving end of a hefty fine by the judge. Now, don't get me wrong, property is a wealth builder and it is great and it's definitely rewarding. And the challenges just comes part of the game. Nothing worth having comes easy. It's just making sure you understand the challenges to ensure you're best prepped for them if and when they come. Now, if you are a beginner and you want to invest in property, but you're unclear, you don't know what steps to take, then feel free to check out my property playbook, where I one-to-one will guide you, taking you through the 4 phases. So phase 1 is where we get you the decision in principle within 30 days. Phase 2 is where we get you an offer accepted on a cash flowing property within 90 days. And then phase 3 is the buying process. And phase 4 is providing you with an action plan once you've got your first cash flowing property. So if you are interested, feel free to check out the property playbook link. It'll be in my description. There's a questionnaire. Once you fill it out, I'll be in touch. So hopefully this video helped you understand some of the challenges and issues that do come as a property investor. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.